So next up, we're going to be going upstairs, where we're going to be speaking about the bathrooms, the family bathrooms, the rooms that were added to the property, and also about the loft conversion, which we all know is a significant value added to the property. So without further ado, come upstairs and let me show you around. So this is the family bathroom where most families spend a significant amount of time with. And I know you're looking at it and you're thinking, oh, how bold, you went black. And I did. I really wanted to complement the Georgian themes. And if anybody knows a lot about the sort of Georgian and Victorian era, you would know that there was a lot of Gothic architecture in that time. So what I did is I actually painted the walls with a French plaster. You will be able to see, especially when you're here, that there are like hues of glitter and different kinds of textures, so it doesn't feel completely black and it's not absorbing any of the light because it's quite reflective. And it's a really, really good hack to create in a dark space but still allowing that space to be light and airy. There are many rules when it comes to a bathroom, and one of the things that I wanted to do is make sure that we had a large bathroom. So I went ahead and demolished the existing bathroom wall and extended out into one of the bedrooms, and I actually extended it by 2 meters. I didn't just stop there. I also decided that I feel like I need a chandelier in my bathroom. Why not? So I went ahead and, knowing that there was a loft conversion, I felt that it was perfect to be able to utilize the new beams and get rid of the old beams on the roof and extend up to the new beams, which was an added 30 centimeters to the height of the bathroom. But what was amazing about that is then the chandelier is now in the right amount of height to be compliant to actually have a chandelier in your bathroom. A lot of the time when I was going viewings and looking in different bathroom shops, I realized a few different hacks. One being that you should have a vanity unit or a sink that complements your mirror. So behind me is a really, really stunning vanity unit. And what I did is I just made sure that it had the right varnish on it to be water resistant. And I went ahead and I created a vanity unit with that space by literally drilling holes in the sink area and at the back. I mean, it's so easy and so cost effective. If I was to spend money on a vanity unit, I would be looking in the thousands. But because of this really, really amazing hack, I only got this unit for under £500. I then went ahead and got a black sink, which I was super excited about. And all of the radiators, the bath, the shower and the bath taps are all in a traditional English theme to again complement the room significantly. And then I complemented everything by getting an oval mirror with a kind of wooden design, which works so well with some of the wooden features. We've created a floor that is made out of tiles, but the tiles are in the they kind of got the print of a wooden floor. I then went to some antique markets and I discovered that, look, I don't really want to see my toilet. I don't think anyone should see my toilet. So, see any toilet for that matter. So I moved the toilet to the furthest side of the room that I possibly could. And what I then done is put a room divider, or in this case it was like a barn divider, what you would have like in your, I think it was like for shutters or something. When you've got a big family, people may, even though you've got locks on the door, you might have people rushing in, and of course that privacy just adds that extra layer so that you're not just being caught in the moment. So One of the things that really inspired me about the bathroom was actually the tiles for the shower. Again, I was going through the kind of Victorian theme and I saw these tiles and I said, those are the tiles. And I really wanted to give this illusion that it was just like this random corner that just burst. So I wanted everything else to be quite neutral, but then the shower area to be really, really bold. And so I went for this really lovely tile that has, again, this sort of antique feel. And again, I just wanted a simple glass panel so that it just didn't feel like it was too much in the room. Again, I really wanted to go simple with everything that I brought into the room. So I didn't want to have a big shower and, you know, a big shower screen and shower doors and things like that. I just wanted that feel of luxury, of simple. And so I just went ahead and had a simple shower screen. And then from there, it was, I think, a really difficult thing that I struggled to try and figure out is where would I put the bath? And even though you're looking in this space and you can see that everything is placed really, really well, it took a long time and a lot of thoughts and a lot of measurements to make sure that it was all placed in the right place. So what I done is I went ahead and I knew there's a lot of things that I cut down on in cost, but you'll always see in my bathrooms and my kitchen, I'll always put in that little bit extra money because I know that it does add value to the house. So I went ahead and spent a ridiculous amount on a classic English bath, and I went for the traditional brass bath, and I am in love with it. Everyone that comes over says, I want to be in the room, I want to go to the bathroom, I want to see the gold bath. It is such a statement piece, and I think that you have to be really mindful about putting statement pieces in your house. And I would always suggest that let it be a statement and let everything else be a bit more simple, because it will allow it to stand out and it will allow it to look really beautiful. This bath, I think, is just classic. It's right next to the window and it just has that lovely feel where at night time you can have a wonderful bubble bath, a large glass of wine and light your candles and just escape from the world. Put on your chandelier and just chill, or turn everything off and just have the candlelight. And honestly, that's exactly the feeling that it lets off, and people have a beautiful and amazing experience. And then I complemented everything by making sure that the radiator was also brass as well, so that we had this beautiful theme. And I didn't fall asleep on the radiator. I didn't just think, oh, it's a radiator, let me just get a black one to blend into the wall. I thought, no, people use a radiator quite well, and I think that, you know, having a stunning towel radiator that is, again, you're spending that little bit of money on that feature, but that is making all the difference. So I really hope you love my bathroom. I absolutely adore it. So next up, we're going to talk rooms. So follow me and we're going to look at a few of the rooms we have dressed for you. Welcome to the kids' room. Now, I always felt when I saw this room that it would be a child's room. And when you're designing rooms for your tenants or even to sell, as bold as I can be, I try to be as neutral as I can where I can. And for this particular room, I went on bringing colours that felt like they were pastel, but they were also gender neutral. So even though there's this kind of blushed yellow in essence, more down the kind of creamy road, I just allowed for there to be colour. I think often people think when you design a house or when you build a house that you should just simply throw in white everywhere, but actually you do not allow for the imaginations of your clients to really see what can be potential in your space. I mean, everything is color, right? So why not make sure that you've got color in your home, even if you're doing something very simple and you're trying not to be too offensive. Still bring in some color, because it will allow people to be relatable, and try to steer away from like throwing in pink and blue, more kind of identifying towards genders. And also for renting, when you design a house and you design it finished, you're less likely to have tenants that want to come and change it, because they'll be super satisfied with what you've created. I think what I love about this room is the tenant that has taken on the property is so excited, because the colours in the room are exactly the same colours as she's used for her daughter. So what have I done in this room? I have left the existing chimney breast in the room, and what I've done is I've then made some cabinets at the side and shelving units. I spent quite a lot of money in carpentry. Carpentry is not a cheap thing to invest in, but at the same time, it will allow for you to have a very finished product. Even though it is an old Georgian house, I still want to focus on modernizing it. I've lived in a lot of brand new apartments in Canary Wharf over the years, and whenever I've moved into these brand new apartments, you'll always see fitted wardrobes or fitted shelving. Certain things will always be fitted out, and it's actually really, really positive, because my tenants, when they've come, they're like, we don't have to get furniture. You don't end up having those stain marks when the furniture moves at the end of the tenant. So I created floating shelves very similar to downstairs, and I also created these cabinets so that you can go ahead and put your books and toys in. I did allow for there to be a lot more space in this room, so that they could also, you know, figure out where they want their other objects. But I used all of my son's toys and things from his room and just went ahead and brought it in here to just give a feel of a child's room. And of course, loyal to myself, I had to stick a gigantic chandelier in the room so that we could still feel like we're in the era. Another thing is I wanted to create a cabinet in the room, but unfortunately the window was very close to the to where I placed the shelving, and so I wasn't able to come out and create a cabinet. The only way to create a cabinet is if I used the enclosed as a cabinet, and it just wouldn't have had enough depth to have been able to hang some stuff. And also, one of my pet peeves is having any sort of cabinet sticking out, even if it's one. I quite like symmetry, so that's just a personal thing for me. But if you have more suggestions, please do let me know. Let's go to the next room. So I would not be loyal to myself if I didn't have a classic jail spooner feature, which is always having some kind of burnt orange in the house. I am obsessed with the colour, even though every single burnt orange I use is a different type. Nonetheless, it is here. My carpenters thought I was absolutely wild, and in the end, they were like, okay, you make perfect sense. So what have I done here? There was an existing chimney breast. It was a question of, do I just rip it out? Which I probably could have done, but I didn't. I kept it in there, and what I then done is I built a cabinet, a bespoke cabinet around it. So this is the master bedroom, or one of the master bedrooms, and although it has been, the cabinets have infringed on the space, there is still so much space in this room. And what we actually have here is a storage area for your jackets and like some drawers, and then maybe for your handbags and shoes. What I have done is I made sure that they extended it all to the top, so that if you have a suitcase or a basket or just boxes of stuff, you can hide it away. No one wants to see anything. You just want your room to stay exactly like this, right? So in that case, I made sure that we had some good storage for the couple or whomever that lives here to be able to have that space. I also went ahead and got a big bed, and I went into the kind of the Chesterfield theme, which again is that feeling of kind of old English. So it's still within the theme of the house, but I made sure that it was a lighter tone and dressed the bed accordingly so that, you know, people could have the feel and illusion that, you know, they're in a bedroom and it's cozy and it's comfortable. And then I paired it with 2 lamps either side and 2 bedside tables. Bear in mind, all of the furniture in the house is actually from a furniture company, and they came into the house when it was completely empty and got a feel for my theme and went ahead and created and dressed it accordingly. And this is a really great way to be able to take pictures, to be able to showcase it, add it to your portfolio, and also for your guests, for your tenants to get a real strong illusion of where to place their furniture. So we also added an ensuite to this room. It was an existing bedroom, and I then took out the bedroom and made it into a bathroom. So we are now in the ensuite bathroom, which is the ensuite bathroom for the master bedroom, and what we've done is we've complemented it with all of the same themed taps, showers and radiators, and then I complemented it with having the exact same vanity unit as the black bathroom, but I then made it, I just kept it its original colour, and I added a marble sink on top, and then went ahead and added a little bit of drama by getting an antique mirror to be on top of that unit. I went very neutral with the colours in this room. Again, the walls are plastered in a kind of white plaster, just kind of dishevelled kind of feel. And I went ahead and done a grey bathroom just to be neutral for, you know, a man and a woman to feel that they can relate to the space completely. That was a very big mission of mine. So yes, I adore this bathroom. It's super cozy, it's super beautiful, the light is amazing, and I've had some wonderful feedback, so enjoy. So guys, at this point you've seen the ground floor and you've seen the first floor. Now I'm going to take you into the loft. Now, if you'd seen any of my previous posts or pictures, you would have seen that, or even if you had a site tour with me, you would have seen that the property only existed to this point, and where I'm sitting at the moment was just a banister and a ceiling and a roof. So what we've done is we completely took off the existing roof, we stripped it to its bare, so there was no roof anymore, and even cut out the ceiling in this area, which was very dusty and just horrific. And then we went ahead and added a loft conversion at the top of the house, which added such significant value to the house. I mean, the purchase price of this house was $1 million and the GDV is 1.6. So we really added a £600,000 value to the property, and really the main value is the loft. I would say that we probably added about £450,000 with just the loft alone. So what did we do? We created 2 rooms up there and an ensuite bathroom, and created these stairs that are here right now. We've dressed one of the rooms, so I definitely want you to have a look at the space. It was a very, very challenging task, and a lot of lofts are quite intimate spaces, but I think that we added quite a big space to the house. This is one of the smaller rooms. This is actually the smallest room in the house, and what we've done is, when there was some dead space, I added some cabinets in the space. I would say that this would be a small nursery or an office. Here we have the loft space, and this was where a lot of the value was added. We created a big open loft area where you can have guests or even have it as your own master bedroom. What we actually did is, in line with with planning, we made sure that we still kept our pitched roof at the front facing of the house and added 2 skylights that bring in a lovely amount of light into the room. We also added a Juliet balcony, so we have a door that opens up and you can overlook the garden with your Juliet balcony. We then dressed the room, and again, every single room in the house still has the same theme, with the switches and the handles and the sockets are all continuously brass. And we then added a nice bed, a cozy space, and went ahead and added a little desk as well. It is such a big space that you definitely could add a desk or even a small sofa. In some cases you would, if you wanted to separate these into flats, is exactly the same throughout the entire house for a much more high spec finish. And even our front door is the same design, so that was really important to me to make sure that we had all of the same themes throughout to just give a good flow and a good consistency, something that will really knock the value of your house